Welcome back, everyone. If you remember, what was it? I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I installed or buried a 500-gallon propane tank, and the gas lines in the house were done. And they were not able to, they didn't have the risers to come out of the tank or to go into the house. So they are going to come tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I just want to have it ready, so all they have to do is run the line. I am going to just spray a line from here, and it's going to come around. I've got to stay outside because I've got drain lines. The drain line runs that way, so I'm going to come around, and this is where it goes into the house. So I want to also get that closed up and get dirt built up over that, because that's the water that goes into the house, and I do not want that to freeze since I have it open. But I'm going to hand dig this part because, like I said, there's still another water line that runs all the way around to that side of the house as well. So I'm going to hand dig this. I'll hand dig a little bit of this. You can't really see it because it rained, but that conduit right there comes here, so this way they can tee off this line here and feed the generator. So I'll dig a little bit of it, but most of that I'll just do by hand, because like I said, there's drain lines right there, so there's only about 6 feet that I could dig with the machine. And that's going to be today's adventure. So let me get started on that, and then I'll clean all this up. They didn't want to do it initially. He said, "Oh, we'll come right when you're going to do your landscaping." And I said, "Well, I would like it to be done now, so that when this grass can grow back in, which is not the greatest grass, but at least it's something. So I don't want to have to wait till it grows in and then dig it up again. That doesn't make any sense." All right, so I'm dug down there. Got my line. I got a little bit of that hand dug. It's obviously easy. This is all sand. So I'm going to start down that end and work this way, because I'll leave the machine here until they come. This way I can just backfill it as soon as they're done, and it'll be in the shade more, because normally I never leave these out if I don't have to, but this will be all right for a day. All right, let's get the party started. A 12-inch bucket, gonna go about 18 inches. They only want 14 inches, but I would prefer to have it a little deeper. A lot of good black topsoil over in this section, but it's that sand that got pushed on top when I dug the foundation. I pushed it out with the dozer, but the sand doesn't like to grow anything. And unfortunately, all the topsoil's where you don't want it. I shouldn't say where you don't want it, where you don't need it. Put it back on in a little bit. Might as well get this side while I'm here, because that's going to have to just go in that pile right there. Got all these roots, that's why I don't want them in there. I want to backfill that with some sand so that I'm not burying the good topsoil way down. Hand dig the rest to it because I'm not getting too close to the tank. Almost there, just got to join them. I'm leaving myself space over there for the machine, so and this way they can get in there easier as well. Let's make sure we're not going to fall in the ditch. right, here we are. This is all done. What I did was I put a rope, so that's down, but I put a rope underneath before I pulled over. So this way they can bring their line over here and just pull it underneath the Yanmar, because I'm not spinning off this trench because this is all sand and it'll just cave in, which it likes to cave in anyway. So I, you know, because it's only a 12-inch wide bucket, so I've got that there to be easier for them to pull underneath. And then once they get that going, I can just turn around and backfill this ditch. So here we are. It's 18 to 20 inches. They only want 14, but I don't think 14's enough. The only place it's going to be 14 is going to be right over here, because this is where the pipes come out, as I talked about. So there's no way to go deeper over there, and obviously where it goes into the house isn't terribly deep either. So they're going to put a T right here, so I gave them enough room for that. And all right, we'll get some footage when they get here. Oh, and I got a good deal. I need for the house. We're going to have tongue and groove ceiling in a lot of the areas: the great room, the kitchen, the game room, and a few other places. And I like to put 5/8 plywood up underneath it first, and I got a good deal. So I got a 58 sheets, got a whole unit, and I got to go put that away. All right, here we go, getting the line run. Oh, it's very humid today. So, how long you been doing this?
Me, I've been about 1.5 years. I retired once before.
They sucked you back in?
Well, life did, yes, sir.
Now you're gonna run the generator right in there. Come on.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this out of the dirt here. Right here, so I get. All right, let me hold it a second. There you go. I appreciate the help. I can get to it a little bit better.
I guess that's what was out of stock last time too. They didn't have the risers, right? That must have been
Yes,
what they
sir.
were out of.
They've had some issues with a lot of things. They're changing companies.
Yeah, it doesn't make it easy.
Supply companies.
There'd be no TikTok video. I mean, enough of them like these.
Well, it won't be TikTok. It'll be YouTube, but yeah, I don't do TikTok. I only do YouTube, and I mainly do it just because I do it for history of my own stuff. But I created a pretty decent following, and people like to see.
That's what Shane was telling me that day. We delivered them appliances.
Yeah, we don't have our rope anymore.
Yeah, it's all right. You grab it right through here.
And this wire is so that they can find this in the future with a call before you dig. And that is in case somebody digs it up and they pull that up and said, uh-oh, we're almost out of gas line. So that's what they're doing now.
You talking to me?
All right, so here's close up. So there's the riser coming up out of my conduit. You still have to put a regulator on there. This is like a 20-step process, but they've got the caution tape, they've got the wire, and again, when you call before you dig, they send somebody out, they check, they can detect that wire. They'll hook up to it and they'll know exactly where it is, except I will tell them exactly where it is because I have video. So it's pretty much 18, it's probably 18 to 20. And here's the end. They didn't tie it in there yet either, but I'll show you. Oops, I didn't want to do that because I have my other GoPro under my arm and I couldn't catch it. So you saw this in my other video what I did, but so there's the wire that they can attach to, and they'll hook that in once the inspection is done. All right, let's get it filled in. I really should go switch the bucket. But can I not find... Why am I only finding the roots? How many more we got in there? Too many, I'm sure. Look at that. Unbelievable. stair time. Trouble is, there's so much grass in here. You cannot grade out grass because that's what it does. I thought I was recording the whole time, and I went to shut it off, and I turned it on. So that whole bit over there did not get recorded. Oh well. right, here we are, end of video. Not an exciting one, but one for the history books, and it might give somebody insight as to how the gas lines are run. So this is all set. Everything I've done just with the skid steer, I'll go around that with a rake and just tamp it down. I want to get too close. And so this is slicked up pretty good. I got that topsoil on top, so hopefully that'll help grow some stuff. And again, I'm not done driving around here. I'm still gonna have to bring the lift around, and eventually there's gonna be a pool, and there's gonna be a hot tub over here, and there's gonna be a wall. So this is gonna kind of get messed up anyway, and that's gonna get built up in there. I just have to get some more material from over there. I'm leaving that part open right now just to wait until they get all that done, just in case they've got to get at anything or move anything, so I don't want to have to dig it up again. And I need a little more topsoil. If I can steal a little bit from somewhere, because I wouldn't, you know, I'd like this area to grow. So I want to get some nice black stuff like what that is. And so that's all set, ready to go for a regulator. And now I just need to get them back again to do the inside vents for the water heaters. I hate that. It's not a hot water heater. If it was already hot, you wouldn't have to heat it. It's like an ATM machine. It's not an ATM machine. It's an ATM, automatic teller machine. Or DEF. It's not DEF fluid. It's diesel exhaust fluid. It's DEF. So anyway, my little pet peeves. But anyway, so that is about all I have to say about that, and we'll see which one is next. I'm doing the electrical in the garage, which is in conduit. And what else is going to be done? Maybe they'll get here and do the vents for the water heater, so I can show that. And then I don't know. They're here now too. My friend Terry is doing the middle part of the HVAC system. So maybe I'll go in and I'll just give I'll throw a quick thing here. Right now I'll show you what's been done and see what else he's got to do. All right, let me show you what they did. So this is the great room, dining room, living room there. So we've got all the ductwork is in here. Up in the dormer up top, the loft, we've got the return, we've got the supply there. So that's one unit. There's an air handler up there. This is for what I call the west wing. This side is our bedroom, closet, bathroom side. So everything's there. One that's for the pool, bathroom. This is our bedroom. Got a return. This is the bathroom. So we've got one there. We've got one in the toilet room. Closet. My closet. Return. Laundry room. Wendy's closet. We've got one there. And then kitchen. The return was going to go there, but that truss is in the way, so I moved it over. We've got it over there now. So there. There's two air handlers up there, and that supplies. This is our office, and let's see if I can get over there. Pantry. That's the pantry. I didn't walk all the way around, but you got to go that way around to get to the pantry. We got that done. Bathroom. Spare bedroom. We got one. And this is the game room. So we've got two in there. So they've been busy. He's got to come back. He's got to do the mastic, and then I'm going to help him when we do the line sets that run through the wall and out to the outside units. So looks good. And then I will come back for the ending. Okay, I'm back. I actually never shut off the camera. So as usual, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. And again, thanks for all the new subscribers. Maybe you guys, I know, 90% of everybody that watches is not subscribed. hard to believe, but I guess everybody says this. But my goal is to get 10,000. I'm at like 8,050 or something like that. So maybe you guys can help me. It doesn't cost anything, and it certainly helps the channel. So again, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.